Uh-oh. What'd I do?
Again, here on SportsChat.
Trying to take off start.
Everyone's always right for an upset in the first round because those teams that they're playing are conference champions.
Wants to throw for Rice. Touchdown 49.
If somebody can afford to pay me $120 million, how much money you think they got?
Great old, how much money you think they got?
Yeah, man. Think about that. Think about that.
No, it is true. It's true. Well, and with everything, the owner, nobody ever complained about owners, but they complain about the players and the coaches.
Well, yeah. I mean, the owners aren't, they're not visible. You know what I'm saying? They're in the background, so nobody sees them. We see the players, and so that's where we direct most of our ire and our anger towards the players.
I guess it's just like when you go to the store and you put all your frustration on the poor cashier.
Yeah. Front line people.
Front line, yeah.
And, even though the players make boatloads of money, and that was when I made that statement, that was Shaquille O'Neal's contract 30 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if somebody can afford to pay somebody that much money, then we really need to look. But that's look, I don't want to get political, but that's how it is in corporate America. The money is all at the top.
And, I mean, again, if the person's gonna pay me, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Alex Rodriguez. Remember when he left Seattle and went to the Texas Rangers?
Yeah,
and everybody was giving him all kind of grief, and he looked at that. He was doing a press conference. He was like, "Listen, y'all, everybody talking all of this about me. It's not a person in here that wouldn't have signed that contract."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be real about it. Somebody offering you at the time was a record-breaking contract in baseball, 10 years, $250
10 years, million. 25 million or something like that.
A year, yeah. Who tell me anybody that would have said, "No, I'm good."
And now 250 is like what? That's chump change.
Yeah, that's for
ask Juan Soto.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's for somebody in the middle of the order.
Right, middle pack, yeah.
That's just lets you know, but it ought to help us redirect our focus on where and it's hard for me to say where the real money is, as if $250 million ain't real money.
Right, true.
But if you writing the checks, you taking in a lot more than $250 million. I can guarantee you that. So that's where that statement came from. It's just like, y'all barking up the wrong tree. You know what I'm saying? And that's really where that statement came from.
Yeah. All right. Well, Super Bowl has come and gone, and so give me your closeout on this past NFL season.
Well, I can give you a closeout as a fan in general and as a Lion fan in particular. Obviously, as a Lion fan, I'll start there first. Extremely disappointing. You battle all year. You battle through just a plethora of injuries, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I think they had 13 players on injured reserve, which is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
But you still battle to get that number one seed, which you've never had before in the history of your franchise.
Right.
All for it to come crashing down against the 6th seed Washington Commanders. And so, I mean, it hurt. You got to take it on the chin. But all in all, I think it was a very successful NFL season. You had a lot of compelling storylines.
Storyline.
Can the Chiefs three-peat? who's going to be that quarterback from the AFC that will ultimately stand in the way of Patrick Mahomes. That didn't happen. The Eagles, the Giants GM ought to get a Super Bowl ring for just for giving Saquon Barkley. First of all, you traded him. You gave him you backed.
No, you let him go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You let him go.
You got nothing for it.
You got nothing for him. That's right. And you chose Daniel Jones, who's not even on your roster anymore
any longer.
Who you chose him over what I think is the best running back in the NFL. And he went, and even though he didn't have a particularly strong game in the Super Bowl, they were determined not to let him beat them.
There was a great case in point of Kansas City made the decision that Saquon's not going to beat us. We're going to make Jalen beat him. And Jalen did.
And he did.
Job.
And he did.
He did.
He did it. Jalen Hurts was out there dropping dimes. And for everybody,
Jalen ball out.
A lot to say about Jalen Hurts and can he really, really play at this
level? John, can I say this? I don't rant very often here on Sports Chat, but I've been sick and tired and sick and tired and sick of the black athlete never be getting their due as a quarterback.
Of course.
Over the course of my NFL watching history, never getting their due at the quarterback position. Still, with the changing of offenses now, they still don't get the credit that they're due.
No, they don't.
For the longest time, after Warren Moon came from the CFL and was a passer per se, he kind of quieted down a little bit. Then when Doug Williams put up great numbers in the greatest game of his life at the Super Bowl, he quieted for just a second because he didn't do much after that. But yet and still, we never got a just due at that position. And even now, over the course, if you go down the list of the 32 teams, I think more than half of them have black quarterback now starting. Yeah. And so again, here's Jalen Hurts, who's a great young man, good at his position, strong as an ox. I think he squats like 600 or so pounds. And so we know his story, right? He gets sat down in the national championship game for Alabama, transfers, has a good season at Oklahoma. Then he gets drafted by Philly, and everybody's up in arms because at the time they had Carson Wentz, who was coming off injury, which they forgot.
Right.
And so they're telling Jay, well, maybe he's going to change. But why every time your Jalen Hurts, your Milroses, your Lamar Jacksons, why they always got to be cautioned about changing your position from quarterback to whatever, right? And so I think that they need to stop with the madness. Your 6'3", 240 drop back person is not necessarily what you need nowadays. You need somebody that's versatile, that can make plays on their own, other than their arms sometime as well. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's a mystery why we know what that's all about. I mean, there have always been questions about black people's intelligence, which is what they say is when it comes to the quarterback position. And so,
true.
We're always described as athletic and all of those physical terms, but we don't have
Intelligent.
And I love the fact that we, when given the opportunity, and that's the thing, and I don't want to get too political, but that was the whole driving force behind something like a DEI, where typically Black people have been shut out of opportunities to prove that they belong.
Right.
When given the opportunity, I mean, that guy looked as intelligent and as skillful as any quarterback that I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
He was out there I mean, that dime he threw to Devontae
To
Smith,
Smith. Oh,
man, just
well,
unbelievable.
and not only that one, the first pass he threw to AJ Brown,
AJ
that they
Brown,
call interference on Brown with. Oh my Lord.
just out there dropping dimes, and it's no mystery to us. It's a mystery to the people who thought that it wasn't possible. It was never a question
In your mind,
in my mind, but
correct.
tell somebody that don't already know. I already knew this. it was
Well, and you know another thing. Now, Jalen Hurts' father is a football coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you very seldom do you hear about that, though. They don't really publicize it on his behalf, right?
Right.
But anybody else,
Well, I mean, it speaks to what the perception is of Black people. It's even with Black coaches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
I'm
you're
nobody.
right.
People have a confused
Mindset.
understanding of DEI, and nobody's asking for equal treatment is not asking for special treatment. Give me the opportunity, and I can show you that I'm just as qualified as anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate that there's this war on DEI and affirmative action and things that the tools that were put in place by government to make sure that we get the opportunity. I'm not asking for anything other than an opportunity. I'll take it from there. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. And I'm glad you had 2 Black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this year. And so we thrive, and it's not an era of superiority. We get given the opportunity, we can show that we can be just as good as anybody else. And unfortunately, this country's history is one that have shunned our people from those types of opportunities. And so, it's all good. I'm happy for the young man.
And I mean, it's such a true statement, because it's facts.
It's fact.
It's
fact. I don't know why it's something that's up for discussion.
And for people to say, "Oh well, it's not necessary. You just can prove it on." No, you're not gonna let me prove it on merit.
But that's the whole point.
You're not gonna choose me because you don't have nobody's forcing you to.
That's the whole point. It's like if nobody steps in and say, "Hey, give this young man the opportunity," you're not going to do it.
It's just like with the NFL has that Rooney Rule, right? So not that they're gonna select me, but they gotta at least call me, right, and say we did.
I mean, it's sad that such a rule like that has to be made. Place.
Yeah, true.
Because it should be first of all, 75% of your players in the league are Black.
Right.
Hello. Are Black.
We don't want to give them the coach, because then we won't be able to tell them what to do.
Well, I'm just saying, we're good enough to learn the plays. We're good enough to learn the routes, learn the blocking schemes. We can learn all of the things that it takes to be successful at this job. But we can't teach it. We can't teach it to us. So it's silly that the Rooney Rule would have to be put in place anyway. But I mean, and I want to use the word lightly, your oppressor will never just voluntarily give up their advantage. It has to be through legislation. And unfortunately, we have an administration that is bent on destroying those types of opportunities for people, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, very true. Very
No
true. But
guardrails in place.
here, what I really love the fact though is Jalen Hurts 2 opportunities in the Super Bowl. He shined.
He was great. He was the best quarterback in both
And
of the Super Bowls
both of
that he
his Super
played
Bowl
in.
appearances. Yes.
Wasn't even a question. Had a critical
Well,
mistake in that first one.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but again, that's part of the game, right? Fumbles,
Yeah.
interceptions.
But we're judged on a curve. Black people are judged on a curve. It's not the same.
Well,
you don't get as much rope.
Here's another part. Okay, so Mahomes had a horrible game, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so now, he's not the GOAT, right? I mean, these people, it's just amazing how we kill.
Well, that's why you can't. I mean, I don't think he's any less of a quarterback than he was. I mean, listen.
No, you can't do anything if you ain't got time to do it.
This is the point I'm making. The Eagles, that was such a clinic defensively. It was such an absolute masterpiece of a defensive plan.
I haven't seen a game where the front four dominated.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean,
you were able to generate that type of pressure on him with a 4-man front.
4-man front.
Which means
no schemes.
You didn't have to blitz.
No blitz. Nothing.
All you had to do, you could drop your linebackers back in coverage.
So you got
that.
You're rushing.
So nobody's open.
7 back.
Yeah. So nobody's open.
You're getting
that pressure up front without blitz, and that means nobody's open.
And your team jumps out to a 17-point lead.
I mean,
so now you take away the run.
That was a clinic.
Pressure clinic.
And so I don't think anybody, and I'll say this about my Lions, I think if the Lions would have beaten I keep want to call them the Redskins, the Commanders. I think they would have lost.
Washington football team.
The Washington football team.
The football team from Washington. What's their name?
I think the Commanders is better than the Guardians. I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
I think the worst name. Well, I mean, in baseball, obviously it's the Guardians, and then the New Orleans Pelicans. Oh God, what in the world? Would they thinking of that? But anyway, I just think that they would have beaten the Lions. I think
that defense.
I don't think.
But though I think again though, Kansas City offensive line been horrible all year too.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Well, I was talking to somebody about the Super Bowl I think it was my nephew AJ, and my thing was that the Chiefs, what were they, 15? That was the most fragile 15-2. If you look at a lot of their games
whole
past season, they were literally getting by the skin of their teeth in a lot of those games. And so it was that 15-2 record. It was a mirage.
Yeah, true.
It was a mirage. This was as vulnerable, probably their best record wise that they've had. But this was as vulnerable as they looked.
Yeah. And so what does that say though about the AFC?
I think the AFC is what it is. It's going to. I don't see any. In the near future, I think it's going to continue to be dominated by the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Until either Joe Burrow really gets the help that he needs on defense, because offensively he was he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he had great stats.
But defensively, you can't score 40 and give up 45. That's
can't do it.
That's just not. You know what I'm saying? It's just
you can't do it.
It's just math. You can't score 40 and give up 45. That was the Lions' problem. Now with us, it was due to injury.
Correct.
I mean, And that Bills game that we lost was, I mean, you score 45 points in a game and lose. That's how bad your defense was.
Correct.
And so I think Joe Burrow, as soon as they get a defense in Cincinnati, they'll be right back in contention. But, I mean, it just reminds me in the AFC, it reminds me of, you remember how when Jordan was just, if it wasn't for Jordan, how many rings would Patrick Ewing have, or Karl Malone,
Right,
or
Barkley.
all of those other all of those other great players during that era, but just kept running into this guy. And I think that's what Patrick Mahomes represents for those quarterbacks. If it wasn't for this guy, Lamar Jackson would probably have a ring or two. Josh Allen would certainly have a ring or two. You know what I'm saying? But until they figure out how to beat that guy, this is a result you'll keep seeing.
Yeah. And I say that Philly deep, that front four, man, that was dominating. I mean, that kid.
It was the most. Listen, because even
Mahomes looked like a rookie out there, boy. They were killing that kid.
I go back to that Denver Carolina Super Bowl when Cam Ward was running for his life, and Von Miller. Yeah. But even then, you still had blitzes, and they were able in this Super Bowl to generate with four. The offensive line got 5 guys.
Yeah, and you could make it 6 or 7 if you do double tight end.
Yeah, do a double tight end.
I mean, they did absolutely nothing to help.
And they weren't just winning the battle, they were dominating.
They were dominating from the snap of the ball.
I mean, it it forced Patrick Mahomes to throw a little earlier than he wanted to. That's why those picks. It wasn't because he was just terrible.
And
anytime he didn't have time.
You're throwing the ball on the run, is something going to happen to the detriment.
That pick 6, I mean, that was because
you're running for your life and throwing back across the middle.
He was running for his life. That was because of the pressure that he was under in there.
The one play where he went back in the pocket, but then he had to spin around, and then he spun right into
him. Turned right around. He said, "Hello, here I am." You know what I'm saying? It was, and I think it was Sweat that was doing the most. I'm like, is he up for a contract this year?
Yeah, he is a free agent.
Because I'm like, dude is out here.
Matter of fact, they got about 5 guys.
Man.
On their
it was
that are free agent. Well, and that's the thing too. Now, any team, because everybody always trying to project ahead what they're gonna be or but you gotta be able to sign these cats.
Yeah.
If you can't keep them, you're not gonna you can't sustain, back in the day, when we were kids, Steel Curtain, Purple People Eaters, the Raiders, the Cowboys.
Right.
They were great because the team stayed together.
Right.
They had an identity.
Right.
Now you can't do that now for 2 years at the most, right?
Yeah, especially in football. I mean, there is
you have to maximize. You have to maximize these guys on their rookie deals, because after that, they're gone.
Yeah. And so I just think, man, that was one of the most impressive defensive clinics. It was 30-40, and people look at that 40-22. I mean,
that was after they start subbing.
It was 34-0 when that game. You know what I'm saying? And so it was extremely impressive. It reminded me a lot of that Tampa Bay Super Bowl coincidentally against the Chiefs when the Buccaneers front
Brady's
they had him running for his life too.
They had him running for his life.
And so when you can get that kind, especially with 4 men, when you can get that kind of where you don't have to commit to your linebackers to the blitz.
Well, here's the thing now.
Blitz, it was a clinic.
Shouldn't you say to yourself, Mr. Reed, Mr. Offense Guru person, that if it's one strength, I'm going to make sure is going to be my offensive line.
Yeah.
After that Tampa whooping, you would figure,
Yeah.
listen, again, I don't care who you are. Two things you gotta have a solid O-line and a good defensive line.
Well, I think they didn't think they needed to invest in as much because Patrick Mahomes has a very unorthodox style of and his
but I
mobility. He
mean,
was there to
still,
clean up. He was there to clean up a lot of the mistakes of the offensive line, but he wasn't
but
doing that this time.
When you got a defensive line like the Eagles got, ain't no cleanup for a mess.
Yeah, it wasn't. He wasn't doing that this time. It was a absolute masterclass in how to play defense. It was just it was phenomenal, seriously.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That team, if they can stay together, that team looks strong. That team looks strong, man. They're gonna be a force to be reckoned with for some years. If they continue to, if they can keep
that nucleus,
they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Man. So I like the fact that I want to see. I'm going back to the Lions now. I want to see what our defense look like when it's healthy. You know, I mean, 13 guys on injured reserve. That's
well, and you know, so who's going to be there? You're in Detroit, so you can tell us the inside scoops. Who's going to be the new OC and the new DC for the Lions?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I haven't even put my ear to the ground to see who we're even looking at. You know, there was some conspiracy theories floating around about Ben Johnson already had a foot out the door, so he didn't call his best game. I mean, it's just, the
man came back after a $10 million offer last year.
I mean, it was just the price. I mean, it was time. You know, I don't think that he called a bad game. It was just bad execution. 5 turnovers by the offense.
I mean, Johnson didn't throw him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know what you expected to accomplish turning the ball over like they did. But Washington didn't have a single turnover.
And you were still in the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the fact that you were still within striking distance. And
correct.
Then, I mean, you had bad plays on defense. You had they were going for it on 4th down. If we would have stopped them, we were only down a touchdown. And then 12 men on the field. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it just was not. It was
shooting yourself in the foot.
We picked a horrible time to play our worst game of the season. And so,
well, and that's the bottom line. You played your worst game at the worst time to be playing.
I just don't think, and I don't, you know, a lot of people are screaming, "Oh, see, same old." I don't think it's the same old Lions. I don't think.
No, I think they're above that now.
I think it's been a true
just because you
shift.
have a tough-minded, well, your front office as well, and you got a good.
Brad Holmes is a superior GM. He's an excellent GM. I love Dan Campbell.
If those areas stay strong, they'll be fine.
I think Dan Campbell is the man. Yes, he gets a little reckless at times, but it's that kind of coaching which has turned the Lions into the contender that they are. So you got to live with it and you got to die with it.
A lot of time, the recklessness that he does on offense, it's not hard because of the defense, but the defense was not the same. So,
well, yeah, I mean, you gotta go for it a lot of times when your defense is compromised. Because I ain't trying to give them the ball; I'm trying to limit their possessions. And so, but yeah, I hear, you know, I mean, we'll get all our guys back. I hear we're gonna make a play because Myles Garrett has made it known that he wants out of Cleveland. So.
Well, what do you give up for Myles?
Well,
I would love to have him, but you don't necessarily need him.
Well, here's where I would say, you know, I hear they want Jameson Williams, which to me, that's a no-go. If I'm the Lions and that price is too high for Myles Garrett, which obviously it'll be, he's one of the best pass, if not the best pass rusher in the league.
In the game.
I'm perfectly content with going into this season with Aiden Hutchinson and the guy they picked up before the trade deadline, Zadarius Smith.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not as good as Myles Garrett, but
but he's
hey,
solid.
he's solid.
Well, and not only that, he's going to be even better when Hutchinson come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because you can't double. You will not be able to double Hutchinson now at all.
This guy was able, with no Aiden Hutchinson on the other, he was still able to accumulate about 5 or 6 sacks.
Correct.
So I mean,
in that short time period.
And so I'm good with coming back. Now, obviously, if you can get Myles Garrett, absolutely, you want to get him.
And if you can get him and he doesn't hinder your salary cap stuff.
I mean, if it fits, if it makes sense structurally,
right. Yeah, no doubt about
go
it.
get it. But I don't think it's worth totally disrupting the team, especially on offense, because Jameson Williams, he's your major deep ball threat. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a nice slot receiver. He'll get you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't going deep with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would like to see Detroit get them another downfield threat.
I think you need at least 2. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how much he wants, but if they could get Higgins, because he's a free agent.
That's gonna cost. I'm gonna tell you what I think they need another downfield threat. I think they just need to get healthy on defense. But if one thing I would pick, I would seriously think about, and I'm guy just coming off the Super Bowl. Hey, Darius Slay, you retiring? What you doing? Would you like to come back to Detroit for another, you know what I'm saying?
Right, another go around.
Let's see make the phone call. Make people tell you no. That's the only thing. And I mean, and right now, Detroit is as good a destination football-wise. Now, people ain't in love with the city, but hey, that's what most. It's only one Miami. It's only one Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, I mean, if Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania can get good players, then they'll go anywhere. Nothing against Pittsburgh, but I'm just saying it's just one of those rural Midwestern cities. And I think from a football standpoint, we are as attractive a destination as anywhere. And so, we can line them up. We can line them up. Go get you a nice wide out. Go get because I hear Dallas.
Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons, he's not happy. What's your wide receiver in Dallas? I can't think of his name.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. Where you at, man? Where you at? What? You know what I'm saying? Hey. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all Dallas, y'all ain't doing nothing.
Listen, if you can get them 2, you might as well get them because they're gonna still be losing in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to rebuild. So hey,
if you can
what
get
you
them,
want for CeeDee Lamb?
Who wouldn't want Michael Parsons? 25?
Yeah. I'm saying, who wouldn't want Michael Parsons? Who wouldn't want,
Yeah. Well, and here's the difference. Your Detroits, your Eagles, right? They're good teams, right? Where Dallas just has a few individual great players.
Yeah, Dallas needs to go on and have a yard sale. They need to go on.
They should. Well, the thing is, though, they
hold
can
on,
do that, but it's no benefit when your coach is still a puppet for the owner. So and who I wouldn't want to play in that situation. I really wouldn't.
I mean, it's not worth it, man. It's you have an owner who wants to be the star.
Right.
Now who is this guy that y'all hired when
Schottenheimer? The son of Brian Schottenheimer? Remember,
Yeah.
Schottenheimer used to be the coach. But I mean, he's been with the team for a long time.
But see, the thing is, you can't hire a Bill Belichick or a.
Oh no, you can't. Well, no, because you're not gonna let them do what they want.
Jerry's ego is too big.
Well, here's the thing. No, and nobody mentioned it, but I'll mention it as a Cowboy fan. The last time that we were supposed to be so great, number 1 seed, right? They were 13-3, was Bill Parcells, right? 2009, I think it was. That's how long ago it was. Who comes into Dallas, right? Smacks us and goes on to win the Super Bowl. The New York Giants.
New York Giants.
We had the number 1 seed. Everybody had to go through Dallas, right? The Giants were on their little run, right? End of the season, right? So it was like, oh, they'll get smacked. Dallas beat them twice already, right? They come in the Dallas, number 1 seed, spank us, beat us, go on to win the Super Bowl, knock off New England, right?
Right.
And so again, and that was the last time though where the coach, the coach was the coach. After that, we get Garrett.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like guys like Bill Parcells, guys like Jimmy Johnson, guys like they're going to want. I mean, their philosophy is, if I'm responsible for the meal,
right, let me cook it.
Then I want to shop for the groceries. You know what I'm saying?
Let me get what I need.
Let me get what I need. And Jerry Jones has always been reluctant to give up that kind of authority, which is how you wind up with Mike McCarthy and
and the thing is, he wants all the glory.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And you're not gonna get that with Jimmy Johnson or Bill
He's not
Parcells.
willing to say this is my beloved son.
Well, the thing is, Jimmy Johnson put that powerhouse of a team together.
Yeah.
But he was getting too much credit, and that was Jerry. What is it about them Dallas owners? Because Mark Cuban was like that at one point. It's just like, hey man, step back.
Well, now I will say probably the most profound thing I've ever heard Jerry Jones say was recently though. He says, I brought the team. Right? He said, I brought the team. It is mine, and I want to do with it what I want. I was like, okay, well, all right, well. I mean, hey.
Okay.
I mean,
that's why your last Super Bowl was 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I understand what you're saying,
right.
dude.
He's right. He can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. But we see the reason why you are the way you are. But I mean, he's right.
That's why your last Super Bowl was 30 years ago.
And on the business side, his team is still worth more than when he purchased it.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
So,
if it's all about money,
you're right. Is it about your brand or is it about winning chips? So at the end of the day, he's got to make that decision, right?
Yeah, I mean it's really up to the Cowboy fans.
Yeah, true.
Because y'all keep supporting. It was. The Lions fans finally started to learn. Like, listen, y'all not gonna keep getting our money, and we paying these exorbitant ticket prices and coming down,
and we're seeing a loser.
And so that lady Sheila, she came in and like, listen, Brian Holmes, come do what you do. Get football people in there. I'm here to sign the checks. Y'all know this game.
Well, and again, though, that's the worst part about it because this person thinks he knows football.
Yeah.
So you got what you
want to be GM, Jerry, and
I want to be GM, quarterback, coach, everything, owner.
It's sad because it's not like this is the Dallas Cowboys. Like, bro, one of the most, if not, I mean, you can make a case. They're up there with the Yankees,
Yeah,
the
sure.
Celtics, the
Dodgers, yeah,
Lakers. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? They're
yeah.
in that echelon
They're in
of
that echelon
sports
of teams.
franchise,
No
iconic
doubt
sports
about it.
franchise. It's no question about it.
No doubt about it.
They
Well,
have
and
every
I mean, and the
resource.
proof is, and the proof is just by the marketing and by their sales, right? That's but again,
Bro,
when it comes to the game, right? Another story.
you have every resource available to you to be a powerhouse organization if
Yeah,
you would just get out of your own way.
yeah,
And
no
that's
doubt about
the thing is, billionaires don't become billionaires by people telling them what to do
what to
and what
do.
they
No,
can and
you're
can't do.
absolutely right.
They don't become billionaires by listening to a lot of people tell them what
No,
they can and
no,
can't do.
and let's face it, when you are at that level, you think you're the person.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
and most likely when you're on that level, you're surrounded by yes men, people who
Oh
want to
yes,
stay on the
oh
gravy
yes,
train, so they're not going to tell you what you need to
oh
hear.
yes, oh yeah.
They're going to
Well,
tell you what you want to hear.
and let's just be honest, because most people subscribe to be at that level.
Yeah, so
That's
they
what they're
don't want
going for, to have the say
anything
so.
to
Yeah,
interrupt that. So
no doubt about
and so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where it's just like,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
well, it's
yeah.
until you change that, then
You feel that you're in a spot where nobody's be able to tell you what to do. Right.
I mean, when you fire Tom Landry,
Yeah. Well, I will say this as a Cowboy fan. At that particular time, they needed a different voice. And
I don't listen, Herm, listen.
I
I
mean,
don't care what you don't unceremoniously, you don't fire a legend like that. Especially,
what you
that's
give him? What you
Tom
give him another
Landry,
year and
dude.
then let him go? What? How do you go about it?
I'm saying if you let him go, you those kind of guys, you can go until you done. You are a legend.
No, you're right.
You do not fire Tom Landry.
Well, that should have been an eye opener right there, right?
That's what I'm saying. And what was Jerry Jones at the time? 50 when he
about 50. Yeah, about 50 years old.
Young whippersnapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, think about it. When a person thinks his stuff doesn't stink,
yeah,
and you're young and with money, oh please.
I just that was
It wouldn't have been like if I was in Jones' shoes. I'm like, Mr. Landry, you want to stay? What you want to do?
Yeah, or
no doubt.
move him upstairs or gradually.
Yeah, no doubt,
but to just
I mean, well, and the fact that you went 1-15 the first year, you might as well let him coach, right? And then maybe move on. You could say we're moving on because we were 1-15.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
It is what it is. So it'll be a while. So y'all might as well put the for sale sign up and just have a fire.
It's gonna be terrible. Oh my God. Well, I knew this year was gonna be bad. The fact that Dan Quinn, they always talk about the offense, but they got lit up by Green Bay. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And then so I'm looking at this schedule. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a rough year. This is gonna be a 7-win season.
And I don't blame it all on, a lot of people want to put it all at Dak Prescott's feet.
Well, again, he happens to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's a microscope that not very many people could survive. But I don't think he's a bad quarterback at all.
Not at all.
Well,
the thing is now though is Dak now is compensating for a lot of injuries that some people won't even be able to come back for. A broken leg.
Yeah.
Hands
he's had a rough go at it. I think he's overpaid.
Yes,
though. I mean, he's overpaid at this point. Particularly with the salary cap being the way it is. If they I don't know if you read, because they're gonna take, if they try to unload him, they're going to take a massive cap hit. I mean, a massive hit. And so I don't know what y'all, because is he the quarterback you want to rebuild around? You know,
well, again, and not now, because he's 30, ain't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like he's 30,
I mean, and the
making
thing
about
is, I remember,
$60 million a
he's been in the
year.
league now 8-9 years. He's not young.
No.
So you got to take all that in consideration, right? The age, the pounding, the injuries, right?
And the contract. He's got a huge
cap. I give him credit for that because he earned that.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, you worth what somebody's willing to pay you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a problem with that.
Exactly.
But
taking and running that.
Long term is gonna come back to bite you, especially as he gets older. And 30 years that's a young man.
He can't move no more like he used to when he first came.
So go on and put the for sale sign up, man. Sell us some of them players. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing with them. What y'all gonna do?
All right, well, let's stay in Dallas. What do you think about the trade? We gotta talk about the trade.
You talking about Luka and
I'm talking about the Luka trade. Come on, John. Come on, John. Oh, where were you the night of the Luka trade?
I was out. My son. I was in my bedroom, and my son came in, because he gets the ESPN alerts on his phone.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dad, look at this." And honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, "Man, you can't believe everything you see on the internet."
Online, yeah.
That was one of them fake websites, and
Right.
So I'll be honest with you. I remember going to sleep that night, and when I woke up the next morning, and I was like, "Oh my God, this wasn't this
fake.
This happened. This
that was one of those moments in life that you remember where you were.
Oh, ain't no question. Sports wise.
So listen, I just finished watching the game, the Lakers and the Knicks game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
I watched that game
at
too.
At first, I was like, "Oh, I ain't watching that game, man." Cause, matter of fact, I looked into like tickets for that game. I mean, I was like, "I ain't paying all that money to see the Lakers get spanked at the Garden," right? But they played well. They won the game, and so I'm like, okay, this is looking promising. They're looking pretty good, right? And so maybe 10 minutes after the game, 15 minutes after the game, I seen a thing go across, because I'm half asleep now too. So I see the thing go across on the screen, Lakers trade. I'm like, what? Right. And so then I'm looking on my phone. I'm like, what? This can't be real. But Sports Center is still on. And it comes up. I'm like, what in the world? So I'm like, let me get a hold of Ron or John or somebody, right? Because they be blowing up. Mike and Ron be blowing up the fellas,
right?
That we got.
right.
They be going. We can't get Ron on a Saturday morning, but we get them all.
Oh, we can get them all day and night on the fellas.
My goodness. My God.
we get them all day and night on the fellas.
All day and night, all week. But we can't find them Saturday morning.
Wow.
Oh, it's hilarious. So hilarious.
But yeah,
if the people only knew, it's so funny.
I think it was honestly, I had so many thoughts, but the thing that first, and I'm not a very cynical person. I don't subscribe to a lot of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But the first thing I thought was, I think Adam Silver got something to do with this. Because I'm saying, you keep reading the headlines that interest in the NBA is dwindling.
Now, yeah.
And ratings are down and people aren't watching like they used to. What better way to get and spark interest than this was an earth-shattering trade. You talking about a 25-year-old superstar who hasn't really reached his prime,
Correct.
just took your. You don't trade. That goes against every
Just went to the
conventional
final.
wisdom.
You weren't supposed to be in the finals.
That goes against every conventional wisdom that you talk about when you trade a player. Typically, a player like that is traded at 30 or at
right 35.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
25. Are you serious?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
If I'm Dallas fans, I'm burning my season tickets. But then another thing I heard is that they have they're from Vegas. The new owners.
Yeah, the owner. I heard that one too.
I hear that
they can't build a casino in Dallas or something.
I'm hearing that they may even be trying to move the team
to
Vegas. You just had the Oakland A's relocate there.
Yeah.
You got the Raiders.
I heard that one too.
Vegas Golden Knights. So hey, they
were saying in other words, they're saying we don't care. We'll trade the top guy. You won't let us do what we want.
And here's another thing. If you are looking to relocate, what are you looking to do? Cut expenses. They were faced with a possibility of having to give Luka a super max almost $400 million contract.
Yeah.
So
well, again, you know that it wasn't. Did you see Jason Kidd's face?
Yeah.
Yo,
you gotta sit there.
Jay Kidd sitting there like,
look, you gotta sit there and play good soldier like you really want to.
That was hilarious.
So it's so many. It just don't pass the smell test. From a basketball standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense to take a young 25-year-old superstar. It just don't.
Didn't Jason Kidd look like Mike Tyson? Remember the Robin Givens interview with Mike sitting next to him? I mean, JQ just sitting there. He didn't say a word.
He was because he was visibly upset.
I mean, he was visibly like, are you kidding me?
You just traded away a 25-year-old franchise player. What?
Yeah.
And what does AD do? True to form. Right on cue.
Wait. And that's the thing.
True to form.
You can't script this stuff no better. I'm telling you.
I mean,
all of your conspiracy theories, all of your Hollywood scripts, you can't get no better. The boy comes out and goes to work.
He couldn't even laugh. And when he went, he was he was determined to prove that Dallas didn't make a mistake. He was giving it to him.
I mean, he was doing work. I'm sitting there like, yo, this dude.
And
then not only that, what's the name looks great now. Max Christie. He's been averaging 15.
Christie was one of the reasons why they won that game against New York that Saturday.
Yeah.
He was balling.
He's been balling out all season. Actually, since he got in the starting lineup.
It just.
Oh my God!
I said, and I mean, this dude didn't even make it to the second half without getting.
Yeah, came out third. It got hurt in third quarter.
I'm like, this dude. Oh my God! I would be so frustrated with
put up 20, 24, and 12 in the first half. 2 blocks.
He's waving to the crowd. I'm here.
Yeah.
No, you ain't. You on the bench. You in street clothes. Are you in street clothes?
They call them street clothes.
Street clothes.
Oh, Barkley.
This dude didn't last a game, Herman. A game. And you already back in street clothes. A game. Good Lord, man. That was
hilarious.
It was and it's now he's out at least a month, they say.
They've already the rumors already starting that Kyrie is a free agent this summer.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't stay there if I was Kyrie.
They already got Kyrie coming to LA.
Would you stay in Dallas?
No, I wouldn't.
With this brittle 32-year-old great player, but can't depend on him for nothing.
Can't stay.
Herman, one game. Bro, I want you to think about that. Seriously.
I know, it's hilarious.
One game, and he's
And-
already injured.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Hilarious.
I think the Lakers won long term. I don't think I don't know. I don't see them having a real deep run unless they can get a big.
Well, no, I don't see a deep run, but it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just to see him and Bron on the court.
Definitely fun to watch.
It'll make for some entertaining games. And I think, and I'll be honest with you, I think that's why I think that Adam Silver has something to do with this.
When I heard that particular conspiracy, I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Ain't no question.
And then not on top of that, you still keep the Lakers now because again, we were all saying, as much as we respect LeBron and everything, we were like, okay, they need to move on from him, right?
Yeah.
So now
here is your superstar.
You still got Luka in the mix. Yeah.
Here is your next guy that's
right to keep that Laker
legacy going with superstars.
No doubt about it.
So here he is.
No doubt about
it. But I just think listen, man. Adam Silver, dude, he done the play-in tournament.
It's so funny.
Tournament.
I was thinking about when the Lakers got LeBron, right? And so Kobe goes, "Oh yeah, now I'll go to a game."
Well, I'm saying, think about it.
Yeah, he said I couldn't. He said I couldn't watch. He said I didn't go before. I couldn't watch before.
Would you a bunch of Nick Youngs and ain't nobody going to see that? What? Ain't nobody going to see that. And so I just think it was really there is a juice and I can't wait to that Dallas. But I mean,
that game.
But AD ain't gonna be in it. It probably, what I'm saying.
True.
Just he.
Well, that's just much watch on the Luka end. See what Luka gonna do, right?
But even that is just the most. That would be perfect theater for it. AD he's just brittle, man. I don't know what it is about his conditioning. I don't want. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Well, the thing is too. And as a person dealing with knees and other muscles along those that contribute to it and stuff, it's a thin line to walk. I'm telling you.
But
once you damage them,
but you ain't
all in that head.
You ain't 32.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying.
And a professional
knowing
athlete
how the body works
with trainers that's able, what I'm saying? You ain't.
But again, once it get in your head, right? Oh, if I turn this way, right?
Then and I said the same thing about Kawhi Leonard. Like, bro, if you then just quit.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is
you stealing money at this point.
Because he had that abdominal strain or whatever. Right, so now was his groin, so all them muscles in there together.
But all of that, Herman, all of the abdominal strain, groin pull, all of that speaks to a lack of conditioning, proper conditioning. Yeah. Those are the type of injuries you get when you don't have proper conditioning. You ever seen LeBron pull a groin or? You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's been out before with that one year when they were rising.
There was his first year.
First year, yeah.
But he ain't had that problem since.
No, he hasn't.
And this guy 8 years his junior and can't stay on the court.
Well, he had played plenty of games this year. Last 2 years he played a lot.
Again, man, it's just the most. It was like
that was just hilarious.
That felt like a Saturday Night Live skit. Somebody this got to be a joke. I know this dude didn't go down his first game with Dallas. I know I'm not seeing this.
Yeah, you're right.
I said this got to be a Saturday Night.
And the worst part about it, His last game that he played for the Lakers against that Mark Williams kid, he puts up 40 and 22. I mean, monster. Oh,
I don't know what to say.
monster stats.
That one had when I I said no, this dude ain't about to go down. No.
And then he gets hurt in the first quarter against the Sixers. I'm like, man, sit down somewhere.
Missed those games. Missed the game against. Oh, my bad. Missed the game against the Knicks.
Yeah, and they still went 6-1 on that.
Yeah,
on that
road
trip.
They had a very successful road trip.
Right.
So I'm thinking, hey man, when this dude get back, they gonna be, this.
Yeah. I don't know what they was doing Wednesday night though. I guess they was already on the break.
That was.
Y'all like we busted you guys Monday.
Yeah, that was a getaway.
Well, the fact that they even played though, LeBron and Luka was.
Yeah, that was a getaway game.
Tonight?
I wouldn't even, but I just think, man, it's just you will never make me believe that Adam Silver didn't have nothing to do.
Well, and of course you do, because you know is interesting the fact that I go way back to when it came off of the strike and they disannulled the CP trade to the Lakers with Kobe. Remember that?
Absolutely.
Talking about, we want competitive balance. It's like, come on, man.
That I think that trade was to prevent Kobe from getting number 6 and tying Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? It's like
not the Mike conspiracy.
Listen. Michael Jordan, they did people don't have, you got to understand, man. Yes, he was a phenomenal player, not taking anything away from him. But he had a lot of help in becoming the iconic player that he became. He did. He did. When you're willing to change an entire set of rules to accommodate one player, it ain't like they were trying to do this they did it to accommodate one player.
I will say this about LeBron. Right. I give LeBron James all the credit in the world just based on what he walked into, the expectation, right? The young man, here's the young man being touted as the greatest thing ever at 18 years old, right? And he has not skipped a beat on the court and off the court. He's handled himself.
Man, look, let me tell you something about this guy, man. I listen. Haters gonna hate, and I don't want to. Let me be fair. I don't want to brand all criticism against him as just people hating on him. You can. There's some legitimate things you can criticize him about. The 2011 NBA Finals when he disappeared against the Miami Heat. That's a stain on his record. That's a stain on his resume. But what this kid, and I can't even call him a kid. What this guy is doing at 40 years old.
Yeah, and ridiculous.
Now, I'll say this now, you know me, I don't really subscribe to the whole GOAT conversation only because it's just, it's cool to talk about shows like this. We can, but there's no way to really prove it. But this level of sustained greatness was Jordan's peaks were higher than LeBron's peaks. I'll give him that. But just this level, year 22, and the last time you averaged under 20 points was in your rookie season?
Yeah.
This dude doing 25.
He averaged 20-something his rookie year.
He averaged 20 points a game as his rookie season.
Yeah.
He's this year 22, he's averaging 24, 8 and 8 or something just ridiculous.
And he He got Rookie of the Year, but he shouldn't have got it because Carmelo should
No,
have got it.
Carmelo won Rookie of the Month every month,
Every month,
and didn't
win Rookie of the Year.
But that was
What?
the NBA doing what the NBA does.
Oh
Listen.
my God.
That's just that. But I'll say this too. Now, the year that LeBron should have been Defensive Player of the Year, when Mark Gasol won NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And he didn't even make the NBA All First Team.
No, yeah. Oh yeah.
How is somebody the Defensive Player of the Year
true.
and not even on the first team All Defense?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah,
and that's just like much to street clothes thing. Street clothes been on All Defense a few times and never has won.
Never won Defensive Player of the Year.
It doesn't make sense.
So, and then you got Rudy
Gobert
out there getting who was beating him? Was it Cat or somebody? Just out there
Cat last year. Cat? No, he was on Cat team.
No, he was getting cooked. Who was it? Somebody. But I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's the NBA gonna do NBA things. But back to LeBron. You've never seen this. To me now, look.
And just because you block shots, that makes you a great defender.
Well, no, you got to be a good help side defender, good weak side defender. Right. Guys like Ben Wallace.
And there should be something
Dennis Rodman
in that when it comes to points against or something too, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's your criteria?
Plus, minus.
Because you can block a few shots, make you the best defender in the league.
He's one of the weaker defensive player of the years I've ever seen. But that's just the NBA makes some head scratching decisions sometimes. But
even my boy, Michigan State player, he won Defensive Player of the Year, but I mean,
Draymond.
No, not Draymond. Jaren Jackson.
Oh yeah, Jaren Jackson. Mm-hmm.
Jackson won one too, but I mean, you don't really think of him as a defensive stopper.
No.
Right?
No. I don't think the year Jordan won in 1988. Hakeem Olajuwon was the true defensive player of the year that year. Go look at the stats. They gave it to Jordan because they wanted to create this illusion of this great two-way player. Scottie Pippen would guard the opposing team's best player.
Well, was Pippen wasn't there in '88 though, was he? He didn't come.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, well, yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah, well, they would switch off, but he was known as a defender.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Scottie Pippen was the defensive stopper on that team. It was not Michael Jordan. He could pad his defensive stats guarding Jeff Hornacek and you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot.
Well, we're going to I have a question for you, but that probably it could be a show all by itself. Your criterias, I throw it out there. You can think on it for next week, whatever. What's your criteria of Hall of Fame qualified people in all sport? Baseball, basketball, football. Who should be in Hall of Fame? Who should make Hall of Fame?
That's a show.
That's a show.
That's a show. I will say this. I think the lowest barrier of entry for Hall of Fame is the NBA.
Yeah. Well, basketball, let's say.
Yeah, a basketball.
Yeah. Because really, now the baseball Hall of Fame and football Hall of Fame have more of the MLB and NFL players, whereas the basketball Hall of Fame covers some of everything: high school, international, all
Yeah,
that.
they take into account your entire career, not just your NBA.
But there still should be.
But I don't. I still say that it has the look. And honestly, I think baseballs can be a little high. I think their barrier of entry
it slipped a little.
I think but when you got guys like Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell,
who's not in there,
who's not in the hall, you know what I'm saying?
Don't make no sense. And then you got the Roland guy that got in.
No, and then it makes no sense for Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker to not be in, but then you got Ozzie Smith in.
Yeah.
Because dude did backflips on you know what I'm saying? Was he a great shortstop?
And Ozzie was just a good defensive player.
Yeah, he was a shortstop. So absolutely. So you're gonna be, but he didn't hit with power. He didn't do a lot of, you know what I'm saying? He just was
well, and here's the thing too. When it comes to the baseball, these baseball writers and they're so supposed to be so stringent on letting people in, but then like you say, it's the point of who they want, right? Okay. Here Ichiro was one short of 100% first bat. I mean, who's the knucklehead that didn't vote for him? Why?
I mean, Ichiro came and lit this league on fire.
Lit it.
I mean, lit it on fire.
Yeah.
Great play. But I just think and I think sometimes baseball is unnecessarily punishing and punitive.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Dude's fifth. If you're a fifth ballot Hall of Famer,
right? You know, if you are you a Hall of Famer or are you not?
If you are a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So we'll be discussing this in detail on our next sports chat show. We enjoyed you today, John. Hopefully we'll get the other guys somewhere. AJ, where you at, AJ? Gary's always doing something. And Ron just disappeared on Saturday morning. I don't know.
I don't know what Ron be up to.
We'll hear from this afternoon about something, but we can't get him right now. But we enjoyed you. Enjoyed chatting with you again here on Sports Chat. We love you. We're out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Everyone be blessed. John,
peace. Peace.